Kindly refrain from reaching for a random handful of nuts from the bowl of nuts, gentlemen. As a result of this behavior, the prostate becomes enlarged, trips to the bathroom occur late at night, and the next morning begins with a fatigued feeling. An easy solution is available. If you want your prostate to remain peaceful rather than agitated, you should choose the correct nuts. This routine can help you feel lighter, enable you to urinate with less effort, and allow you to sleep more deeply. I am Dr. Katherine Rocker, a urologist who has been providing medical attention to male patients for more than 20 years. Every day, I devote time to reviewing symptom diaries, meal logs, and lab trends. Irregularities leap out of the page. An ostensibly healthy choice ends up being counterproductive. Nuts that are not the right kind can cause you to consume fats and chemicals that cause edema. You are not to blame for any of this. The simple tools that are appropriate for your current stage of life have simply not been provided to you. This is what you should anticipate happening right now. Guidance that is unambiguous and offers it in exchange for control. Alternatives to nuts that reduce inflammation rather than causing it to worsen. There are actions that may be taken to make your streams more consistent, your nights more peaceful, and your energy more assured. I maintain a natural, attainable, and risk-free approach. I would like to extend an invitation to you to become a member of our group if you are a man who is interested in having honest conversations and finding genuine solutions for your health. In order to ensure that you do not overlook this vital information, kindly subscribe and make sure to touch the notification bell. In the comments, if you are ready to have fewer trips to the restroom and more self-assurance in the mornings, you should say yes. You should share this with a brother or a friend who is completely dependent on coffee and trail mix. You do not have a thin skin. When you provide your body with the appropriate stimuli, it will continue to respond. The pressure that is placed on your prostate is reduced by smart nut exchanges. Small improvements made each day add up quickly. Let us get down to business. As a starting point, we will examine 4 common snack options that, despite appearing to be pleasant on the label, really work against urinary comfort. After that, I will demonstrate what you should employ instead so that your meal can start assisting you right away. The very first item on this list is surrounded by a plausible health halo, which makes the potentially harmful consequences of this item much more perilous. To begin, we will discuss the Brazil nut, which is frequently referred to as a superfood. A lot of men believe that the high selenium concentration of this food will protect them from developing prostate cancer. Therefore, they munch on it every day. However, when it comes to the prostate, this good behavior might gradually transition into an area that carries risks. It is the epitome of the adage that said more is not better. The first warning sign is elevated levels of selenium. Selenium is essential for your body. This is a fact. This mineral is essential for the functioning of your immune system. This same nutrient, however, might have the opposite effect of what you want when it is consumed in the large quantities that are provided by just a few Brazil nuts. There is a possibility that it will enhance oxidative stress, which is analogous to internal rust and causes harm to cells. In men who already have sufficient selenium in their bodies, studies have even found a correlation between high selenium levels and an increased risk of aggressive prostate cancer. On the other hand, Brazil nuts contain around 25% of saturated fat. Diets that are high in this particular type of fat are known to be the cause of chronic inflammation. It is possible for this inflammation to cause hormonal shifts that ultimately lead to an increase in the production of DHT, which is the hormone that directly supports the growth of your prostate. However, this is not the end of the problem. Because Brazil nuts contain a high percentage of fat overall, eating them might easily cause you to gain weight if you are not extra careful. This excess weight, particularly around your waist, encourages inflammation throughout your entire body, which does not remain confined to your abdominal region. This causes your prostate to become more uncomfortable. A further risk that is not obvious exists. These nuts have the potential to develop a mold that is responsible for the production of aflatoxin if they are kept in conditions that are either warm or damp. The liver is put under a significant amount of strain by this toxin. When your liver is under stress, it is unable to perform its function effectively, which is essential because it is responsible for eliminating excess hormones. This can result in an imbalance of hormones, which will further aggravate the condition of your prostate. Nuts from Brazil that have been salted or coated in chocolate are like adding insult to pain. Urinary urgency and frequency are both made worse by the high salt content. Low-cost chocolate coatings contain sugar and harmful oils, both of which contribute to an increase in inflammation. A powerful natural food is transformed into a damaging nibble as a result of this. A man who was in his early 60s and was full of life came to see me fatigued. He was one of my patients. During each and every night, he consumed anything from 6 to 8 Brazil nuts, at the same time as he began to experience a tingling nerve discomfort in his fingertips. He began to notice that his hair was becoming more crumbly. This is a classic example of an early warning sign of selenium toxicity. His PSA level was also growing, which was a source of concern for him. Simply put, we made one modification. He reduced his consumption of Brazil nuts to just 2 per week. After a period of 2 months, the peculiar sensations that he was experiencing in his hair and fingers disappeared entirely, and his PSA level returned to normal. The fact that such a minor modification resulted in such a significant change made him quite happy. There is no requirement for you to fully exclude Brazil nuts from your experience. Instead of seeing them as a daily snack, it is important to think of them as a periodic supplement. Imagine having just 1 or 2 of them once or twice a week with no more than that. This affords you the advantage without exposing you to the risk. In place of these, I would want for you to substitute a handful of almonds or walnuts for your regular snacking meals. Make sure to get organic Brazil nuts from a reliable supplier when you do decide to purchase them. It is important to keep them in a cool and dry location, and you should never consume varieties that contain additional sugar, salt, or oils. Next, we have the pine nut, which is a nut that is frequently used in gourmet health foods. As a result of its presence in pesto and high-end salads, it contributes to the perception of being a delicate and natural element. But for the prostate that is becoming older, these buttery seeds can be a source of discomfort that is not noticeable at first, but gradually makes your problems worse over time. The primary issue is that they have an excessive amount of a category of fat known as omega-6. While your body does require a small amount of omega-6, it must also maintain a healthy balance with another type of fat known as omega-3. Our current diets already provide an excessive amount of omega-6 to the majority of us. When you consume pine nuts on a daily basis, you are adding fuel to this imbalance, which in turn encourages your body to manufacture more chemicals that cause inflammation. After traveling through your circulation, these chemicals may eventually settle in your prostate, where they may stimulate the cells of your prostate to grow in size. In addition to this, they cause the muscles that govern the flow of urine to become twitchy and irritated. As a consequence, the stream is frequently thinner, and you experience that annoying sense of urgency that causes you to rush to the comfort of the restroom. The customary manner in which we consume pine nuts makes this situation even more severe. Let's use pesto as an excellent illustration of this. Pine nuts, Parmesan cheese, and a generous amount of salt are the 3 ingredients that go into making this delectable sauce. Only a few teaspoons are sufficient to supply a substantial amount of sodium. The consumption of a high amount of sodium is closely associated with more severe urinary symptoms. This is due to the fact that sodium leads your body to retain fluid, which in turn causes your bladder to fill more quickly and can directly irritate the lining of your bladder. If you consume nuts, you will have inflammation, and if you consume salt, you will experience irritation. This was something that I seen firsthand with a patient who was 58 years old and avidly enjoyed going on hikes. In order to provide himself with additional energy, he always put a large handful of pine nuts in his homemade trail mix. During his hikes, he began to become aware that he needed to stop and urinate on a regular basis, which significantly disturbed his enjoyment of the experience. To make his mix, we simply substituted a mixture of flax seeds and pumpkin seeds for the pine nuts that were already there. Within a month, he noted that the number of times he needed to use the restroom while participating in activities had significantly decreased. In addition to that, he reported that he felt less puffy and more comfortable in general. If you are a fan of pesto, you might want to try substituting walnuts for pine nuts when you make it at home. Because of the large levels of omega-3 fats that walnuts contain, they are really beneficial for reducing inflammation in the prostate. You might think of pine nuts as a garnish that you might use occasionally on a nice salad. If you do decide to purchase them, make sure to always go for the raw, unsalted varieties. Also, the most important thing you can do is make sure that your diet is well balanced by including more foods that are high in omega-3, such as wild-caught salmon or crushed flaxseed. The restoration of that vital fat balance in your body is facilitated by this, which in turn protects your prostate from the inside out. It is possible that the following prostate killer will come as a complete surprise to you, because it is frequently praised in some diet circles. In this context, I am referring to the macadamia nut. It is likely that you have heard references to them being referred to as a premium good fat miracle, particularly in keto and paleo diets. They are a fan favorite because to their velvety and decadent flavor. When we restrict our attention to the health of the prostate, however, we find that the enormous density of fat in the prostate can subtly cause your hormone balance and inflammation to shift in the incorrect direction. This is a clear example of how the quantity of fat that you consume can have a greater impact than the quality of the fat itself. Numerous large-scale health research have repeatedly demonstrated a connection between a high total fat diet and an elevated chance of prostate enlargement to occur. A particular route in your body is activated by the lipids that are found in macadamia nuts, even the monounsaturated fats that are considered to be healthier. This route can be thought of as a master switch for managing inflammation. When this switch is activated an excessive amount of times, it causes a persistent state of low-grade fire to spread throughout your entire system. A persistent signal to your prostate cells to multiply is sent by this inflammation, which, when combined with the possibility that these fats will enhance the synthesis of the growth hormone DHT, causes your prostate cells to multiply. This is analogous to leaving the green light on for the growth of the prostate. It is also very simple to consume an excessive amount of these nuts. Due to the fact that they are so delicious, a small handful can rapidly become a huge one, which can cause your body to take in an excessive amount of calories. An increase in weight around the waist is a common consequence of consuming additional calories. This abdominal fat is not a static mass. It is similar to a rogue gland in that it secretes molecules that are similar to estrogen and chemicals that cause inflammation. This fluctuation in hormone levels creates a perfect storm that directly worsens the size of the prostate, as well as the function of the urinary system. I witnessed this with a patient who had a passion for baking. Because he believed that utilizing macadamia nut oil and flour in his recipes was a healthier option, he included them in a number of his recipes. With the passage of time, he became aware of his waistline growing larger, his bad cholesterol increasing, and the recurrence of his urine symptoms with a much greater intensity. By making that one simple adjustment, we came to the conclusion that macadamia nuts should be used only as a once-a-week indulgence, rather than as a daily component. It was noted that he experienced a stronger urine flow and fewer sleep interruptions, in addition to losing a few pounds. A reasonable amount of macadamia nuts is approximately 1 ounce, which is equivalent to approximately 10 to 12 nuts. It is highly recommended that you use extra virgin olive oil for your regular cooking, as well as for salad dressings. It has been demonstrated that its fat profile is beneficial to health rather than detrimental to it. On the days you do decide to have a few macadamias, make a point to balance your diet by including an excellent source of omega-3 fats, like a piece of salmon or a tablespoon of powdered flaxseed. This assists your body in managing the overall fat load and maintains a level of inflammation that is under control. Our list of nuts that are destructive concludes with the hazelnut, which is a component of holiday mixes and chocolate spreads that is known for its smoothness and innocence. This means that mild risks are increased by volume due to its palatability and widespread availability. There is a possibility that that safe handful is quietly contributing to discomfort of the prostate. It is important to emphasize that the damage it causes is comparable to that which we observe with other nuts that cause problems. Palmitic acid is a characteristic type of saturated fat that can be found in hazelnuts. There is a direct connection between this fat and the activation of the primary inflammatory pathway in your body. As soon as this pathway is activated, it causes a condition of persistent, low-grade fire to spread throughout your entire biological system. Furthermore, these lipids have the ability to boost the activity of an enzyme that is responsible for the production of DHT. This powerful hormone resembles a growth signal for your prostate, and it is responsible for its effects. As a consequence, your prostate cells receive a message that is silent and consistent, instructing them to multiply. Rarely do we consume hazelnuts in their unadulterated, unprocessed state. The majority of the time, they are concealed among sweet chocolates, creamy coffee flavorings, or rich spreads. You are dealing a double whammy to your prostate with this combination. This can produce rapid spikes in your insulin levels, which can contribute to weight gain and further upset your hormone balance. The high sugar content causes these increases so quickly. Together, the sugar from the coatings of the nuts and the fat from the nuts themselves contribute to the development of estrogen dominance and stimulate inflammation. The combination of these two factors effectively works against the comfort of your prostate. I was able to provide assistance to a gentleman who had a reassuring evening routine that consisted of a large mug of coffee with a hazelnut taste and a few chocolate truffles. His inability to comprehend the reasons behind his weight gain and the fact that he had to make 2 or 3 trips to the restroom during the night was a mystery to him. We made a straightforward exchange. Instead of drinking coffee in the evening, he opted for decaffeinated tea and ate a square of dark chocolate that included 85% cacao and a few almonds. Without exerting any additional effort, he was able to shed 5 pounds in just 6 weeks. His overnight pee decreased to only once per night, and sometimes he did not urinate at all. This is the most significant observation. His body was merely reacting to the elimination of that persistent inflammatory trigger after it had been removed. We frame hazelnuts as a garnish that is used sometimes, rather than as a basic ingredient. It is okay to consume a modest handful, which is approximately 20 nuts, once or twice each week. It is imperative that you exercise caution with regard to the sweets and creamers that contain hazelnuts. All of these are the true perpetrators. To prevent consuming an excessive amount of sodium, select the dry, roasted, and unsalted form of hazelnuts when you do consume them. I understand that it can be disheartening to learn about these 4 people who cause destruction. It might appear as like all of your favorite snacks are being targeted, but I assure you that this is the point at which our conversation will take a turn for the better. As a result of the time that we have spent on the issues, we are now able to concentrate on the effective solutions. By this point, we have moved on from recognizing the problems to embracing the concept of empowerment. Now we will come to the good news. At this point, I assure you that our conversation will take a turn for the better. Let us now shift our focus to the 4 oils that are known to treat the prostate, which are nuts and seeds that have the potential to become your body's most powerful partners. Sesame seeds are the unsung hero working behind the scenes, if pumpkin seeds are the well-known champion for men's health. On the other hand, pumpkin seeds are the champion. These little seeds are like nature's very own specifically made pills for male vitality. They are loaded with one-of-a-kind nutrients that actively work to soothe and calm an enlarged prostate so that it may function normally. 2 powerful mechanisms are responsible for their operation. As a first point of interest, sesame seeds have a high concentration of phytosterols, the most prominent of which is beta-cytosterol. With the help of this substance, the enzyme in your body that is responsible for converting testosterone into DHT is slowed down. Through the application of a brake to this process, you are able to directly limit the major hormonal signal that tells your prostate to develop. Secondly, sesame seeds are among the best sources of lignans that can be found in the diet. Natural plant chemicals that have a slight protective effect are what we are talking about here. They provide a second line of defense against enlargement by suppressing the formation of aberrant cells in the prostate, which helps to prevent the expansion of the prostate. Moreover, sesame seeds are an excellent source of zinc, which is a mineral that your prostate actively concentrates and requires in order to maintain its health. As an additional benefit, they supply a particular type of vitamin known as gametocopherol, which serves as a potent antioxidant protector for the cells that make up your prostate. Another mineral that helps relax the muscles and blood vessels in your pelvic region is magnesium. Magnesium is found in little amounts. Your prostate will be protected from cellular damage, pressure will be reduced, and blood flow will be improved thanks to the beneficial effects of this combination of nutrients. 1 to 2 tablespoons of unsalted sesame seeds, also known as tahini, which is a type of sesame seed butter, should be consumed on a daily basis in order to reap the benefits of this food. They should be incorporated into your nightly routine, which is a very astute tactic. It is possible to maintain stable blood sugar levels overnight by consuming a modest snack that contains tahini, such as a teaspoon mixed into Greek yogurt. A stable blood sugar level can be the key to preventing those annoying 2 a.m. cravings. Calls to the restroom are made. It is imperative that you always remember to keep tahini and sesame seeds in the refrigerator in order to maintain the potency and freshness of their essential oils. Tahini, fresh lemon juice, and a touch of garlic can be combined to make a salad dressing that can be prepared in a short amount of time. If you have yogurt or oatmeal in the morning, you might want to try adding a tablespoon of roasted sesame seeds instead. When combined with other healers, such as ground flaxseed, they provide a significant increase in power. Consequently, this results in the formation of a synergistic shield for your prostate, which provides your body with a wide range of protecting nutrients. This simple, day-to-day routine has the potential to make a huge impact on both your comfort and your health in the long run. A veritable powerhouse, our number 2 prostate healer is deserving of a permanent place in your cabinet on account of its formidable status. The majority of people consider pecans to be nothing more than an ingredient for pies, but when it comes to the health of your prostate, they are a very important tool. Because of the significant amount of monounsaturated fat that they contain, they are able to reduce systemic inflammation, which is the primary cause of discomfort in the prostate. Furthermore, pecans have one of the greatest levels of a wonderful plant chemical known as beta-cytosterol, making them one of the most desirable foods. This is not merely a hypothetical concept for a vitamin. Beta-cytosterol has been shown in clinical research to directly enhance urine flow rate and minimize the sensation of not completely emptying your bladder. Men who are struggling with enlargement have found it to be an effective ally. A far deeper level of goodness can be found in pecans. Specifically, they are loaded with a type of vitamin known as gametocopherol. This particular antioxidant is particularly effective in locating and neutralizing potentially harmful free radicals that are present in the tissue of your prostate. Additionally, they are an excellent source of fiber. The healthy bacteria in your stomach are nourished by this fiber, and they generate substances that reduce inflammation in your body. In addition, having a healthy stomach helps your body eliminate utilized hormones in the correct manner, which prevents these hormones from being reabsorbed and causing an imbalance. When you add to this a complete suite of protecting polyphenols, you have a diet that functions like a supplement that is manufactured specifically for the purpose of promoting comprehensive prostate well-being. It is ideal to serve approximately 1 ounce, which is equivalent to approximately 19 or 20 pecan halves. This quantity can be consumed on a daily basis or a few times per week. Utilizing pecans that are raw and unsalted is essential. Add a handful to your morning porridge, sprinkle them on top of a salad for a pleasing crunch, or incorporate them in a homemade trail mix. All of these alternatives are delicious. I strongly recommend that you steer clear of the varieties that are sugar-coated or candied, because the additional sugar will work against your objectives. Keeping these nuts in a container that is sealed and storing them in the refrigerator or freezer will help to maintain their freshness and avoid the rancidity of the healthful oils that they contain. While working with a patient who was 64 years old and an executive who struggled with a daily afternoon slump, I had the opportunity to experience these effects firsthand. He would grab for a croissant around 3 o'clock, which would be followed by a sudden drop in energy and a persistent and urgent need to urinate when he was on his way home from work. I suggested that he replace that pastry with a handful of pecans that were still raw. The following month, he indicated that his afternoon urine urgency had greatly decreased, his formal prostate symptom score had improved, and he was pleasantly delighted to learn that his bad LDL cholesterol level had decreased on his follow-up blood test. All of these changes occurred within a single month. The straightforward and long-term change that he made resulted in a significant improvement for his prostate, as well as his general health. So, let's dispel a belief. They come from a plant variety that does not produce psychoactive effects. That is not going to get you high. The use of them is entirely lawful and risk-free. What they will do is provide your prostate with an anti-inflammatory balance of lipids that is almost perfect, which is nothing short of a dream for your prostate function. The true magic resides in the one-of-a-kind makeup of their fatty acid makeup. An optimal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 can be found in hemp seeds, which is 3:1. Now, we have discussed how consuming an excessive amount of the incorrect omega-6 can lead to issues. However, the omega-6 that is found in hemp seeds is a specific form that is referred to GLA. GLA is really converted into molecules that have anti-inflammatory properties by your body. The inflammatory background noise is reduced, and a much calmer and more stable environment is created for your prostate as a result of this. This helps to reset your entire system. A number of men are concerned that particular seeds may cause their hormones to become disrupted. Your hormonal balance can be supported in a method that is both very safe and indirect by using hemp seeds. They include a high concentration of high-quality protein, as well as an amino acid known as arginine, which enhances the flow of blood to all of your organs, including the prostate. In addition, they have a high concentration of magnesium and vitamin B6, two nutrients that assist your body in effectively processing and eliminating hormones that have been used. These products do not include phytoestrogens and will not interfere with the normal amounts of testosterone in your body. A good goal to aim for is to consume 2 to 4 tablespoons of shelled hemp hearts on a few occasions per week for the best possible outcomes. It is not necessary to grind them, and they have a flavor that is mild and nutty instead. You may easily incorporate them into a morning smoothie, sprinkle them over a salad to get a boost of protein, or even use them in place of pine nuts in a pesto because they contain fiber. All of these options are available to you. By beginning with just 1 tablespoon per day and gradually increasing it, you will give your digestive system the opportunity to adjust to the new amount in a comfortable manner. With regard to what he referred to as hippie seeds, I remember a patient who was 65 years old and had metabolic syndrome. He was originally quite hesitant about the concept. He consented to include a mere 2 tablespoons of hemp hearts in the salad that he eats every day for lunch. 2 months later, he had lost around 5 pounds, his inflammation marker had decreased, and the number of times he went to the bathroom throughout the night had decreased from 3 to 1. It was with a smile that he reported that his plumbing felt less constricted, and he finally had the sensation that his bladder could empty more completely. According to what he shared with me, he had developed a genuine faith in the efficacy of those tiny seeds. Our last healer is the one that stands out from the crowd. It is low in fat, high in fiber, and strong in antioxidants. Think of it as comfort food that soothes your prostate. Studies conducted in the laboratory have demonstrated that chestnuts contain powerful antioxidants such as ellagic acid, which has been shown to assist in slowing down the rapid growth of prostate cells over time. They also operate by maintaining a steady level of sugar in your blood. By avoiding the abrupt insulin spikes that are induced by refined carbohydrates, you are able to eliminate a vital metabolic signal that can indirectly support the growth of prostate tissue. The healthy bacteria that are already present in your stomach will feast on their high fiber content. Once these beneficial bacteria are provided with adequate nourishment, they are able to generate anti-inflammatory substances that are beneficial to your entire body, including your prostate. Additionally, a healthy stomach provides the same services as an effective waste management system. By assisting your body in capturing and eliminating excess hormones, it prevents these hormones from being reabsorbed into your bloodstream to begin with. This procedure is essential for preserving a good equilibrium between testosterone and estrogen, which has a direct influence on the level of comfort experienced by the prostate. In addition to being high in fiber, chestnuts provide a broad spectrum of beneficial elements. They are an excellent source of vitamin C, which is scarce for nuts, and they are beneficial to your immune system. They are an excellent source of potassium, which contributes to the maintenance of good blood pressure and allows for the proper functioning of muscles. In addition to this, they include trace minerals such as manganese, which activate your body's natural antioxidant defense mechanisms, as well as B vitamins, which are essential for cellular repair. One way to think of them is as a natural multivitamin that has been developed specifically to promote the health of your prostate and your metabolism as a whole. For a snack that is both warm and fulfilling, chestnuts are a good choice. It is also possible to obtain chestnut flour in a number of health food stores. This flour is wonderful for baking and imparts a flavor that is both sweet and nutty to foods like muffins and pancakes. The addition of chopped chestnuts that have been roasted gives soups and stews a robust feel. A straightforward approach would be to make use of them as a carbohydrate side dish on a few occasions per week, substituting them for white rice or bread in order to provide a more nutrient-dense and prostate-friendly alternative. An individual who was 70 years old and had type 2 diabetes and prostate enlargement was one of the patients I remember. He consumed bread and potatoes on a regular basis, which caused his blood sugar to surge and made his urine symptoms much more severe. Chestnuts that had been roasted and soups that had chopped chestnuts were the replacements that we introduced into his diet. Over the course of 3 months, he was able to shed 8 pounds, his blood sugar level became substantially more stable, and he claimed that he was able to cut his trips to the bathroom during the night in half. It was especially highlighted by him that the sensation of being less bloated and constipated relieved a significant amount of strain on his bladder, which resulted in a discernible improvement in his day-to-day comfort. Please try not to let all of this information make you feel overwhelmed. A single healing nut or seed should be consumed each day with the purpose of alternating them for diversity. A handful of pecans as a snack, a tablespoon of sesame seeds for lunch, hemp hearts in your smoothie, and roasted chestnuts for dinner a few evenings a week are all examples of foods that are high in healthy fats and protein. On rare and thoughtful circumstances, the destroyers should be kept. To prevent the delicate oils found in nuts and seeds from becoming rancid, it is important to store them in airtight containers and place them in the refrigerator or freezer. In order to avoid mold toxins, such as aflatoxin, which we addressed in relation to Brazil nuts, you should always make purchases from reliable suppliers that have a high product turnover. It is always a good idea to have a quick conversation with your doctor before you dramatically increase your intake of seeds like flax or hemp if you are taking prescription blood thinners like warfarin. This is because these medications can cause your blood to become thinner. It is only a standard precaution to take in order to guarantee that everything functions without any problems. The best results will be achieved by combining these dietary adjustments with a few other habits that are beneficial. While you should be sure to drink a lot of water throughout the day, you should also make an effort to reduce the amount of fluids you consume in the 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. These trips to the restroom in the middle of the night can be considerably reduced. It is also essential to engage in regular physical activity. It is possible to lessen blood pooling and congestion in your pelvic region by doing something as easy as going for a walk every day for 30 minutes. Discovering healthy strategies to deal with stress is another crucial thing to do right now. The hormone cortisol, which directly promotes inflammation throughout your body, including your prostate, is elevated when you are under a significant amount of stress or pressure. Through the use of this holistic method, your body receives the comprehensive assistance it requires in order to find its way back to equilibrium. Be patient and persistent as your body adjusts to these adjustments. It will respond to them nonetheless. During the first couple of weeks, you should anticipate improved digestion and consistent energy levels. It is possible that you will see a decrease in the number of trips to the bathroom during the night as you progress through weeks 2 through 6, as well as a stronger and more consistent flow of pee. Between weeks 7 and 12, you might see a loss of weight, and the symptoms of urine incontinence might become less noticeable in a more consistent manner. Following a period of 3 months of constant use, this is no longer solely about alleviating symptoms. Over the course of time, it develops into an effective preventative method. I have prepared a straightforward strategy for you to follow for the first 2 weeks in order to make this transition as easy as possible. The first 3 days should be spent concentrating on 2 events. In place of any macadamia nuts, substitute a handful of almonds for them and incorporate 1 tablespoon of powdered flaxseed into your morning meal. During the 4th through 7th days of the diet, you should incorporate a tablespoon of sesame seeds into your daily routine and switch to using extra virgin olive oil for all of your cooking. Increase the amount of flaxseed you consume on a daily basis to 2 tablespoons if you are feeling well during the 2nd week. In addition to paying strict attention to your nightly routine and beginning to rotate your healing snacks, you should also consider drinking your last large drink a shorter amount of time. Keep in mind that this adventure is about a great deal more than visiting the restroom less frequently. Protecting your strength and preserving your independence is a decision that you have made consciously. The preservation of the vitality that enables you to actively interact with your life and legacy is the focus of our endeavor. If you have a sibling, a friend, or a son, I strongly suggest that you talk about what you have learned today with them. We are all able to become more powerful and self-assured when we have open conversations about the health of men. I would like to extend a cordial invitation to you to subscribe to our channel and to take advantage of the notification bell if you found this material to be helpful. Keeping in touch with our community is made easier for you by this. If you found this to be useful, please let me know your opinions by hitting yes below. At this point, I would like you to take a single simple step. In the later part of today, you should open your pantry and select simply one thing to restrict. Make sure to pick up one of the therapeutic alternatives that we covered during your next trip to the grocery store. There is no doubt that your health is deserving of that decision.